Hey gardeners, Amy here with Garden Up. I wanted to shoot a really quick video following up on this lawn alternative experiment that I started a year ago. So a year ago, I plotted out this experiment to try 3 different sowing methods and 4 different types of lawn alternatives. I tried micro clover, which is very popular and trendy right now. I tried a dryland mix. I tried crimson clover, and I tried Dutch clover. And the 3 different sowing methods I used were removing the sod completely, cutting the sod out, aerating, and raking. Because all the instructions all over the internet say that, any of those 3 things should work fine. I wanted to try for myself and see what really does work and if any of those work better than others. And I found out that yes, they absolutely are different. I also learned that you've got to get your lawn well established before it goes xeric. Okay, so you still need to water your lawn quite a bit more than I did. My bad. So here are the results of my experiment. Okay, by far the best sowing method, if you want to go this route, is to completely remove the sod. Removing the sod will cause several things. One, there will be no competition from the existing grass. The seed will get good contact with the soil and it will have the best chance of being able to germinate, which is very clear in my experiment here. The other thing that will likely happen if you cut out the sod is that it will allow weed seeds to germinate, which might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. If you cut out the sod and then wait a bit and water it, that will stimulate those weed seeds to germinate and grow, and then you can actually pull them up before sowing your alternative seed and hopefully get ahead of them, which would be really great because then you won't be fighting weeds in your brand new lawn. And lastly, it removes all of the grass that would be growing with your clover. So that may or may not be what you actually want in your situation. You might want to leave the lawn, in which case this isn't the best sowing method. Okay, so that's removing the sod. The second best method for sowing this seed was definitely aeration. By aerating the soil, I created actual holes for the seeds to fall into that allowed excellent soil contact and the second best germination rate. Maybe a pro, maybe a con in your situation was that it left the lawn. So it left the existing grass that then competed with the new seeds, but in the winter, it won't die back. So, again, in your situation, you might want the grass to stay and you might want the clover or whatever alternative to intermingle with the grass, in which case you'll want to leave your existing lawn. So in that case, aeration is probably the best sowing method for you. The other method I tried, which was by far the worst, was raking. Just power raking or just raking up the existing lawn. The theory is that you're raking and manually removing all of the dead grass blades and the thatch and anything else that's between the seeds you're about to put down and the soil. But what I found was that was not enough. I had almost zero germination in the areas where I raked. And I did that here in this experiment, but I also power raked my front lawn, my back lawn, and the duplex where I planted a lawn alternative, and almost none of them grew. And so that's enough to confirm for me that raking is not enough, and that is not a sufficient prep to sow this seed. So I'm not going to be doing that anymore. I will not recommend it. You need to either remove the sod or you need to aerate first. Those 2 things seem to work. The last thing I learned, which I mentioned, but I'll get into detail now, is that you need to get your new lawn alternative established before you turn off your water. And that's where I really messed up this experiment because I got so busy this summer that I forgot. I should have set it on a timer to have it turn on automatically. But I thought, 15 minutes a day, I can remember to do that. No, I can't remember to do that. I know better. Anyway, so it got water when I first put the seeds down. It germinated. We also had a really wet spring, and that's what had me get out of the habit of turning it on because the sky was watering it, so it was fine. But then the sky water kind of turned off, and we have gotten zero rain from basically May, June through somewhere in October. And it dried up and crisped up, and it got really, really icky over here. So, but what is left is actually really surprising. So we still have some Dutch clover. We still have a little bit of crimson clover that reseeded, and I did that on purpose. I actually didn't mow over here so that the crimson clover would reseed. And then we have quite a bit of yarrow that survived, and one of the little chamomile flowers. And there's a little bit of the micro clover left. But for the most part, Dutch clover did the best, and I'd say the yarrow, the dryland mix was the next best. I'm really not that impressed with the micro clover, although, I mean, given its situation, it did do pretty well. And then the crimson clover gets a little bit high for a lawn, and I got to witness that firsthand. It's really not one I'd recommend for a lawn that you're going to run and play in. But if you've got a back field somewhere, it's a beautiful plant, and it was absolutely stunning when it was in bloom. There's your super quick update on this, guys. I want to thank you for watching and following us through this experiment. I'll keep following up on this next year because I'll probably make adjustments to it, and as I continue to try different methods and different seeds, I'll keep you posted on those. So make sure to subscribe so you can follow us in these experiments. And remember to hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And on that note, guys, thanks again for watching. I will see you in the garden.